Put these together. In other words, you saw the Ouija board was wrong. You saw, and you put that to one side, and this rest, which you may have put under a supernatural realm altogether or whatever, you didn't see that as the same problem.
No, I didn't band them together. I didn't band things like ghosts within a Ouija board. I didn't make that connection in that way.
Right.
So no, I didn't.
Laura, would that be the same for you? I mean, in that you could departmentalise these things. I mean, I would tend to put them all under the realm of the supernatural, but were you able to departmentalise them as well?
Yeah, we, myself, my mum and all the spiritualists we knew, we certainly believed Ouija boards worked, but we avoided that kind of a thing. We felt that was the darker side, if you like, and we wouldn't recommend anyone do that. We would be quite horrified and would suggest people not to do that. We knew it was supernatural, but we didn't touch it.
So that sounds quite a general feeling amongst you that that there are certain aspects of the darker side which are really dark and you don't have anything to do with, but there are other aspects that aren't quite so bad then. Yeah,
that's how it seemed.
So what did you find out? You were buying these books, you were watching the furniture move around your room, you were listening to these steps going up and down the stairs. Where did that lead you to, and how? What was that journey like?
Well, it led me into an interest of anything to do with the paranormal. I didn't make the connection when I was reading things about tarot cards. I was reading stories about ghost stories and reading things about mediums in books and things like this, and some of the seances that we were talking about. I didn't make that connection that it was evil, that it was wrong. So to me, it was just something that was part of our world that we didn't see, but it was there. So that's what it was.
And so although supernatural, you didn't feel it was controlling you, you didn't feel it was something to be avoided, you felt it was something you could look into, to get to know and to tap into in some way.
It was just another aspect of life, another part of life, but not a part that we can normally discern or understand that well, but it was there. It was just the other side of life, and it just seemed extremely fascinating and interesting.
In this seeking, which I presume was a journey, was a road,
yes,
if you like, were there any doubts along the way?
Not really, no. There may have been the odd one or two here and there, but I didn't have the sort of faith that would make me think this is wrong. So there wasn't that connection. Like I said, to the best of my understanding, I got all my knowledge from these books that were in the library and that. And I joined a book club later on, and I was receiving books on the paranormal as well, and including a free deck of tarot cards. And so I didn't see that it was wrong.
Right. Now, comparing that with your Roman Catholic upbringing, did you think, hey, there's differences here and these are leading in different directions, and you chose to go that way? Or did you think, well, it's all spiritual? I mean, how did you see that?
Exactly as you said, it's all spiritual.
Right.
That's how I perceived it, and that's how I understood it. I didn't have enough of a basis, biblical basis, or understanding of the teachings in the Bible at that time to make that connection, to make the fact that what I was involved in was wrong. In fact, I had no idea.
Right. And so you had the religious around you, but it was spiritual. That led you to an area of spirituality. What you were involved in led you also to an area of spirituality. You had no problems with that?
At the time, no, I didn't.
I wonder if there are viewers that are feeling or have felt in the same way. Do make contact with us. Do give us your communication. Do talk to us about where you are. Have you got questions with regard to the supernatural? Maybe you're looking down some of these roads even now. Come on board, come and ask some questions, come and let us have your stories as we go through this hour together. What various formats did you go through? Okay, we've talked about the Ouija board, but you developed a lot further than that. Tell us about what you got into, and was it sort of one step after another, or how did that work out?
One step after another is a very good example, yeah. It was an interest in, as I've already mentioned, about ghosts and paranormal, and in general, spiritualism, which I didn't realise the term at the time. But the first real step was when I joined a paranormal book club and I received these tarot cards. That's where my interest really perked, because from there I was also reading in books about spiritualist churches and psychic developments and things like this, and that made me look into that, and I started attending spiritualist churches around about the age of 20, and I found a medium to teach me how to do the tarot cards. But the interesting thing is, at that time, is I found that I didn't need teaching. Very quickly I was picking them up and getting things from the cards for people. So it was a step by step, and one thing led to another. Psychic development, and then they talk about things like psychometry, where you have an item and you can get images or things like that from an item belonging to a person. It was just a step by step process. I refer to spiritualism as the subtle deception, and it just slowly brings you in step at a time. Mm-hmm. So each time you feel that everything's okay, and it just goes further and further down the line. So it was a gradual step by step process.
How you talk of two things. One, you talk about being taught the tarot cards,
yeah,
which seems to give it an indication that it's something which you can learn, whoever
right.
you are. You also then talked about that you got things for people. In other words, it seems that as you put the tarot card down, you were thinking you are this or you are that, or there's this in your
yeah.
life. There seem to be two different levels there. Are there those two different levels in these areas?
I don't know for definite. I mean, I was being taught about what each individual card meant, or what the perceived meaning of each card was meant for. But like I said, I found very quickly I didn't actually need to be taught about it. I could literally just put cards down and I would get things from the cards, images, impressions, words, about the person I was doing the reading for, without having to learn everything. Mm. So, I mean, at the time you could learn about tarots, but that's how it just seemed. I seemed to pick it up without having to learn it.
Right.
So.
Laura, did you go down this road as well? And was your experience the same? Did you get pictures? Did you think of things like that? How far did you develop into that realm?
With tarot cards, for myself and other spiritualists we knew, it wasn't something, we kind of regarded it a bit like the Ouija board. It wasn't something we wanted to do. We were members of one spiritualist church, but we visited 3 quite regular, and a few others too, and really just within Glasgow there was a kind of feeling then that tarot cards wasn't something that we should do. So no, we didn't actually go down that road.
Mm-hmm. But did you also felt that there was something just beyond you? In other words, you felt things inside, or you saw or heard things that there was no reason why you should know them anyway. Yeah. It was the same thing for you.
Yeah, and I think we just really felt that everyone has the potential to become psychic. You know, every